Morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Daily on a Wednesday. Got three of us here for you today. I'm TK, Tommy Price, and Ronnie Rance somewhere in the desert in Arizona, and national champion linebacker, NFL player Derry Beckwith making the Sports Shorts Daily appearance. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Tommy.
We're excited to have Derry. You know, he gave us 15 minutes of his time away from selling all that State Farm insurance to talk a little football with us. But appreciate you, D. I know it's a sacrifice. But listen, I'm over here in the land of the sun in the Phoenix, Arizona. My old stomping grounds, lived here for many years in the 90s. Going to be going to the Saints Cardinals game tomorrow night. Going to work on the golf game today, Tommy. But, you know, in typical New Orleans Saints fashion, Derry, Bernard Hopkins is coming back tomorrow for the Cardinals to make his debut this season. So, you know, for the Saints, they're 2-4. They feel like they should be at least three, have at least 3 wins. And instead, now they're going to have to deal with arguably the best wide receiver in the league. So, not looking good for the Saints tomorrow.
No, it's not looking good at all. I think the Saints are in a situation right now where they can maybe start getting ready for their draft picks for 2023 draft because I think that's where they are now. I think either offensively or defensively, they just have no identity at all on their team. So they're in a tough situation, in a tough spot. You know, obviously playing against Joe Burrow and the Bengals Sunday, they had a lot of guys missing, but they just don't look enthused and excited about playing the game of football right now.
Question's going to be, Tommy, is Jameis Winston going to start? Is he healthy? Is Dalton going to start? But before Tommy talks about that, I feel like I'm Derry Beckwith, Tommy, today because I'm driving here on the highway in Arizona, and let me see if I can work this phone. And let's see. No chance. Just to let you know, I feel like I'm Derry back in the day when he was in the league. I'm driving a BMW rental car, Derry. I got the free upgrade from the Camry to the BMW, and I'm balling like I'm Big D back in San Diego.
Oh man, look, you bringing back a lot of memories, man. That was probably some of the funnest times of my life, man. You almost kind of realize like you off in your own world, and you do feel like a mini celebrity, but you're already a celebrity anyway, Ronnie. So you know that feeling.
All right, Tommy, I'm gonna turn it over to you guys for some real sports talk. I look forward to being with you guys on Friday, or Tommy on Friday morning. We'll talk a lot of Saints Cardinals. I'll give you a recap of, you know, the Who Dat fans that were at the game. I didn't see a lot of Who Dat fans on the plane. I do have some friends that are out here. I'm going to meet up with them for dinner tonight. So you guys have a great one. Thanks for pinch hitting, Derry, and we'll talk to you on Friday, Tommy.
All right, Ronnie, we'll do that.
All
right, Derry, let's start off by talking about LSU's win down in the swamp against the Florida Gators. I mean, you played the Gators many a time. You know the drill, but that was an impressive win for Brian Kelly's team.
Absolutely, it was. It's never easy to go to the swamp and win a football game. So tremendous kudos goes to the whole coaching staff at LSU. Kudos goes to the players. They seem to me, Tommy, to be extremely relaxed, extremely confident in what they're doing. This is the first time that I've seen Jane Daniels look like he enjoyed playing the game of football. He was laughing. He was having a great time. He was celebrating with his teammates. They got Kayshon Boutte involved early in the game plan. I think the first quarter he had 65 yards. Into the game with over 100 receiving yards. So to see him getting involved was great. And I think what that does, that silences all the critics who said that maybe he was a locker room problem. He was never a locker room problem. It was just a situation where he just wasn't getting the football. So I think Brian Thomas is another guy who's stepping up on the offense. So Josh Williams, incredible story. Guy been a walk-on, and as a starter in the SEC. Incredible game. I think defense played okay, and some corrections that they can make. But for the most part, Tommy, LSU was in control of this game from start to finish. But we still have to get the special teams corrected. I mean, first kickoff of the game, guy returns the ball 50 yards, and then we muffed the punt. So that's something that has to be corrected. Extremely proud of the effort. And to come out with the victory is it's a great feeling.
There, we got a question from one of our viewers, Chance, who wants your thoughts on Harold Perkins.
Harold Perkins is an extremely talented football player. Harold Perkins reminds me of Tyrann Mathieu his freshman year. And I don't want to put that much pressure on him when I compare him to Tyrann Mathieu. When I say Tyrann Mathieu, Harold Perkins has a nose for the football. Harold Perkins knows how to make a play. He's always around the football, and when you need a big play, he's always there to make it. He's in a position right now where the coaching staff is putting him just to go make plays. Don't really worry about reading the offense because it's extremely difficult for a true freshman to actually play a traditional inside linebacker position. It's extremely difficult. Now, he will be a great inside linebacker. Don't get it twisted. He will be. But right now, they're using him in great ways to spot the quarterback, rush off the edge, rush up the middle, and the guy's a playmaker, and you have to keep him on the field at all times because when he is on the field, great things happen for their defense.
Derry, I want to make a comment on Jaden Daniels. I mean, you know more about football than I. I think the Jaden Daniels that we saw Saturday is what the coaches believed he was capable of. That's why they named him the starter. That's why they've stuck with him, even though all quarterbacks throw a bad pass or two. But I think that the coaches know what they're doing, and they believed in him, and he showed what they believed, and they probably were hoping it came a little earlier, but it came at a good time. He was a part of 6 touchdowns, and first time he didn't lead the team in rushing. The guy you mentioned, Josh Williams, did. But that's the Jaden Daniels that the coaching staff believed was capable of, and he proved it. And I think that's good going forward. And it's going to give Daniels confidence. It's going to give his teammates confidence. It's going to be a really good thing going forward for LSU.
As a quarterback, you just need one game where you break through. When you have that one breakthrough game, Tommy, moving forward, it's going to be easy. I'm not saying he's not going to have challenges. He's not going to have struggles, but you will see the confidence. You will see the swagger coming from him because he finally had that breakthrough game in the middle of the year. So going forward, I continue to expect great things from Jaden Daniels, and I love their offensive philosophy against Florida. They spread the ball around. They got the ball into their playmakers' hands. And Jaden Daniels has let it rip. I know he had that one-on-one with Brian Thomas twice. The first one was for the touchdown. The second one, which I thought it was a catch. Anytime you have a one-on-one matchup, just throw it up and let your playmakers go make a play. And I think Jaden Daniels had great command of the offense. He has respect from the players. And you can expect a different Jaden Daniels moving forward.
Well, and moving forward, you got a top 10 ranked undefeated Ole Miss Rebel team who runs the ball well, but they give up some rushing yardage. They gave up over 300 to Auburn, who's not a good team this year. So it's a heck of a matchup. 2:30 CBS, the whole bit. Homecoming for LSU. A lot of former players, a lot of former band members, Golden Girls. They're all going to be there. It'll be a big day on campus. The weather's expected to be beautiful. And I think LSU, with the confidence they gained from Florida, they're a slight favorite in the game against Ole Miss. And Ole Miss has got a better record at this point, obviously. But, man, that's going to be a heck of a game.
Oh, it is. And traditionally, anytime LSU plays Ole Miss, it's always a dogfight. And so I have been hearing that, Ole Miss is really not a top 10 team. Ole Miss hasn't really played anybody. And so from the famous words of Coach Nick Saban, don't eat the rat poison, because that is rat poison. And I know now LSU is favorite, I think, a 1.5 over Ole Miss. These games are always close. These games are always a battle. And I can remember my sophomore year, Ole Miss came into town and their record was terrible. It took overtime for us to beat them. A last-second play from Jamarcus Russell to Dwayne Bowe on a slant route. So these games are going to be tight. They're going to be close. Lane Kiffin is still one of the best play callers in the country. It's a defense that still has guys on scholarships. So LSU has to come out, make plays. Florida game is over with. It's the ability now to adjust and go to the next opponent. And that's the most difficult thing about the SEC, Tommy. Every week, you have to forget last week and move on to the next. So I think it's up to this coaching staff to get the players in the right mindset in the position to go out here, execute properly on all phases, offense, defense, special teams. And if they do that, they will put themselves in a great position to win this football game.
Yeah, you got to turn the page. Now, Lane Kiffin, I think he has become a great coach. He was a good coach, Tennessee, USC, Florida Atlantic, a brief stint with the Raiders that didn't work when he wasn't ready for that. But he has become a very, very good coach. And, look at Ed Orgeron didn't succeed at Ole Miss. He won a championship at LSU. Sometimes coaches take time to get to that level, and maybe Lane Kiffin's getting to that level. Ole Miss has never been to the SEC championship game in football. Right now, they control their own destiny, as does LSU, but we'll talk about that more next week. But I think he's become a good coach, and more importantly, he has recruited very good players to Ole Miss.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin, I think, is definitely righting the ship. It all started when he had an opportunity to go to Alabama and be the offensive coordinator a few years. And I think it kind of reflected. He had time to reflect on his career and where he wanted to be as a football coach. And I think he's doing a tremendous job. He gets the attention of the kids. He has the attention of the school, the attention of the administration at Ole Miss. So they believe in him. And anytime, especially in today's game, Tommy, when you have a offensive-minded head coach, which is, look, at the end of the day, this is an offensive game. When you have an offensive-minded coach and someone who can call plays and who can dial them up, you're always going to be in the mix to compete year in, year out. And he's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah. All right, real quick, Derry, I know they wanted you to be a left-handed pitcher at Parkview, but you didn't do that. But some big baseball games today. The Phillies and the Padres with Aaron Nola versus Austin Nola. Aaron's pitching. Austin's expected to be in the lineup. Phillies win last night. Padres didn't give but one hit. Good pitching stops good hitting every day. There's no question about that. And then tonight, Yankees, Astros in Houston. First game of their series. Phillies are up 1-0. Wow, the baseball playoffs have truly been exciting.
It has. And look, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I do catch some highlights, and I'm always rooting for the Astros. Obviously, with Alex Bregman being on Astros and going to LSU. And look, Houston is one of those teams that he's the Astros that Louisiana kind of adopts because it's right up the school. So I'm always pulling for the Astros. I know they had a hiccup a couple of years ago about cheating scandal and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's a great organization. They have great players, and so I expect them to go out and compete well against the Yankees.
Of course, I'll be all over those baseball playoffs, but you already knew that. Hey, Derry, we want to remind folks this Saturday, Sports Shorts Radio will be 8 a.m. to 9:30 due to the 2:30 LSU kickoff. Are you going to be joining us? I know on the phone or in person?
I'll be there in person.
Yeah, we'll be at the LeBaris Casino in the new Barstool Sportsbook, which is opening up Friday at 3:30. Ronnie Rance is the MC, so we don't want you to forget that, the LeBaris Sportsbook. And we'll do Sports Shorts Radio Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9:30. And we'll talk a lot about the LSU Ole Miss game and other college football. And we'll probably even, Derry, you're usually pretty spot on with your LSU thoughts going into the game. Whether it'll be close or high scoring, low scoring, and we'll certainly get that from you on Saturday morning when we do Sports Shorts Radio. Again, 8 a.m. to 9:30 this Saturday due to the LSU kickoff on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Derry, we appreciate you joining us today, and we look forward to Saturday morning.
Appreciate you, Tom, as always. Take care and see you Saturday.
All right, and of course, I want to remind you about Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. They got lunch special today is lasagna. You can come check that out at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. For all you deer hunters, they got the game processing, the deer processing. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge, 1245 Jefferson Highway, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. Connect on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter with Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. All right, I want to thank Ronnie Rance for joining us from the desert in Arizona. He'll be at the Saints-Cardinals game tomorrow night. We're back with more Sports Shorts Daily Friday morning. Sports Shorts Radio early version this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9:30. And appreciate everybody liking and sharing this video. Please like and share this video. That's very important. That helps us out a lot. Like and share this video. On behalf of Ronnie Rance and Derry Beckwith for doing a great job filling in today, I'm Tommy Chrysan. Thank you for watching Sports Shorts Daily.